Hello, and welcome to another session of Recent Thoughts. Today we are going to be talking about something more laid back and something that people connect with on a deep level. At least I do a lot, and I think you will do too. It's not going to be happy, just, numb, I guess. Uh, I decided to talk about it not because I feel like it right now, or I feel this way right now, but I have a couple of really interesting thoughts about it that I want to get off my chest and also dump a couple of feelings off. So, as always, I have my timer on 15 minutes. We are going to talk about stuff for 15 minutes. Feel free to have me in the background. Feel free to have me whenever and wherever you want. And yeah, let's start. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Loneliness. To me, when I was a couple of years ago, it was a very common feeling to the point where it has not led me, but more often accompanied me to this day. The most lonely, or sorry, the point in my life where I felt most lonely was after the end of a relationship. To be honest, this is where everything kind of started. Well, obviously before, but realizing that you had someone and then you don't, or now you don't, and then pretty much you feel so lonely, although it's not true. If you look at this from a rational view, what exactly is loneliness? Loneliness is when you, or yeah, loneliness is when you feel like you are, you could say you're lonely, yes, but when you feel like that, you feel like you can't connect with anybody. It's not that you don't have any option to, it's more of a feeling, it's more of a psychological effect. Obviously it's a negative feeling. And obviously it's a very bad and very heavy dependent feeling on your, or that is very dependent on your mental health and your situation. You can feel lonely because you don't have any interests with anybody, or you can feel lonely because you've been bullied. It's two different situations, but one same feeling. I feel like you can control the feeling of loneliness if you're strong enough mentally. Of course, I'm not really saying anything about look at the bright side, right? Sometimes there will not be one. But what I mean is holding through, having that mental toughness that not a lot of people that get into, the teenage world or get into something that's not their childhood have. And it's a very hard feeling to suppress. You can completely, drown in it, and you can completely give up on anything because of that feeling. Of course, stress comes with that. Of course, demotivation comes with that. Negative feelings. Yeah, it's for me personally, it was a very horrible feeling. I felt like I couldn't connect with anybody. Felt like I couldn't talk with anybody. Although I did have people to talk to, and I'm not talking about friends. Of course, friends will be there for you, or I'll rephrase it, there will always be somebody who you can share your interests with. But for me, it was this personal feeling of restraint and personal, just like I locked myself up in my own feelings, especially after, everything that happened, that I really felt lonely. But what we, as well, I speak from myself, as teenagers, I guess, the not as adult humans yet, we don't really think about how many people we are surrounded by the very minute, even if we feel lonely and restrained and isolated in our own feelings. After some time, I have learned to value, not only my friends but also my family a lot. I get that you will not always be able to talk with your family about feelings. Personally, I never could. There was a couple of times, but that was where I didn't have any escape to anybody else, pretty much, and I just let it out. But you can't really, if you think about it from a teenager view, I don't think you can really talk about your internal feelings that much. That's why you're searching for somebody that you can share it with. But that value of family, it's not that they are always there because they're family, but they, despite all that, you can't really tell them, they know what's going on and they will be there for you. At least my parents were. They didn't know what exactly was happening with me at that time, and I didn't really plan to tell them, but they tried to cool me down. They tried to be with me. They tried to watch a movie with me, and that really means, personally to me, that really means a lot. Value the people that are around you. Most of the times you don't even know that you have a lot of people around you that care about you, even if it's just family. Same goes with friends. If you ever feel lonely, don't hesitate to text somebody and say you feel lonely, because this is a point in life. I don't know what exactly brought you to this, right? But this is a point in life that's where you feel, or not where you feel, but where you are, valuable. I don't know how to speak in English. Vulnerable. It's a point in life when you are very vulnerable, and the only thing you can really do is trust your friends and speak about it. Because if you keep shoving down that feeling of loneliness, it's gonna get to you, and it's gonna get to you bad. Fortunately, I did have friends I could talk to. Of course, there are some people that don't have those kind of friends, but if you have family, for example, if you have a brother or sister, pretty much anything, maybe try that, or at least make them aware that you're not feeling very well, and they will fix you up something. The thing I'm talking about right now is mutual respect, and how to handle with loneliness, because most of the time it's just like a panic attack. You feel one thing, but it's not real. Or at least you are shooting out adrenaline. That's how that's how panic attacks work. You're shooting out adrenaline or whatever chemical that was, and your brain is in a kind of what the fucky kind of mood, right? Same with loneliness. Your brain is in an isolated mood of feeling lonely, although you're not. And you really have to not only understand but respect that, and of course respect your family. Yeah. Because if you don't, that loneliness can get worse and worse until you're desperate. That it can it can go in that direction too, to the point where it completely changes you. It's the same with stress. If you encounter that for, sorry, if you encounter it for a very long time, it will make you, or you as a person, different. Not because you want it to, but because with time you won't be able to bear it. And that's a very important thing for me personally to think about. I don't really want to change. I want to stay how I am right now. Um, but for me personally, yes, of course, it's not only family that gets me away from loneliness, but also there are plenty of people that would want to talk to you on YouTube. If you, or sorry, on YouTube, on the internet. If you ever feel lonely, there is about 7 billion other people, now almost 8. There will be somebody who wants to talk to you. Trust me. You don't really have to worry about that. The most important thing is to know how to battle it and how to not sink in that rabbit hole that I talked about. Of course, if we speak from it from another angle, of course you can think of loneliness as something positive as well. The other day I was just running around, or not running around, I was walking around outside, and I was completely lonely, or you could say completely alone. Give me a second. Oh god. Fuck that. I was completely alone, and although I was alone, I didn't feel all that bad. I think occasionally what you do need, of course, is loneliness, or at least what I would consider as private time, or stuff like that. But feeling lonely can be positive too. I can imagine myself running across a field and just laying in it, and spending a lot of time reflecting on myself, because that can go into two different directions too. Because if you're lonely, or if you're lonely in a negative sense, you are forced to self-reflect on yourself and kind of get in that panicky mood of your brain. But also, if you are, if you want to be lonely, or if you want to be alone and have that privacy and think of self-reflection, it's more of a very positive and warm feeling. You can't really do that forever though, of course, but it occasionally does feel very, very nice just to put on some headphones, put on some music, completely turn yourself off from the outside world, listen to music, and not care about anything else. Of course, I'm a musician. I like music in my free time. Maybe you like episodes of I don't know, anime or movies. I don't know, but sometimes it's very nice. But yeah, as I said in the previous, I think, episodes of this, or sessions, humans are generally made to live together. And of course, that psychologically, even with the whole isolation stuff happening, it gets to your head. The more we get isolated, the more lonely we feel. The more lonely we feel, the more negative we feel. And I fear that's gonna get way worse with the time. I just hope they kind of, fasten up, I guess, or haste with the vaccine for the virus. And I just really want to see my friends in real life again. It's great. I feel lonely from time to time, really. but I can cope with that by distracting myself. But this isolation is very, very hard. And I'm in right now. I'm in a very good mindset, but I couldn't imagine how a person with a bad mindset could go through this and still be sane. Um, it is very hard. It's been a very hard year for all of us. And actually, on that, I would very much like to end it. We are closing in on 15 minutes. We just have about 30 seconds left. So let me finish up with saying thank you a lot for listening. I usually babble a lot and repeat myself, but I'm very sorry about that. Try to improve with it every single day or every single time I record. Thank you for listening. See, I already repeated myself. Give it a like, give it a comment, give it a sub if you want to. And yeah, I will see you in the next session. Have fun with whatever you're doing in your life right now. I'll see you in the next session. Bye bye.